Hey guys, what's up? This is Kazi from cleverprogrammer.com, where you learn to code smarter. Now, we are probably going to start the infamous series on on Learn JavaScript on Codecademy, okay? This is probably going to be the best series on learning JavaScript, especially on Codecademy. So, just enjoy, and you'll also learn. So let's jump right into it. What is JavaScript about, and what does it want us to do? So a very quick overview. JavaScript lets you do all the cool stuff on the web. What's happening to my English? When you click on things, it'll open them up, all the graphical interfaces, all the beautiful user interface. Almost all of it is done by JavaScript. So at the end of the day, JavaScript is what makes the internet run, especially nowadays. That's the technology that we use for all the front end, especially. So let's go ahead and click on Introduction to JavaScript, and we'll get started. If you check all of these guys, all of this stuff is locked. It wants you to upgrade it, and but other things are there. So for example, functions, scope, arrays and loops, and you guys know my style. What I do is, for those of you who are new, basically what I do is, if I'm trying to explain something, I'll open up another terminal, or I'll go on this website called repl.it, where I'll show you the code as we're coding it, okay? So why don't we just get started? So let's click Introduction to JavaScript. Let's go. All right, welcome to Learn JavaScript. We got our first achievement. That's always good. JavaScript is the most widely used programming language on the web and is used on most websites, including this one. So that's kind of essentially what I was saying in the start. By the end of this course, you'll have a strong foundation in JavaScript. You'll be able to write full-fledged programs, make HTML and CSS dynamic, and write impressive web applications. And if you follow this course with me, you will also not be bored and probably have a lot of fun. All right? I can't stand boring programming, guys, so I'm trying to cure that myself. This unit has two parts. Learn the building blocks of JavaScript, do some fun stuff with those parts. Cool. Hit next to begin. Let's get started. So here we see that we have three variables. One is called one is called myString, and we set that to undefined. My number is also, we set it to undefined, and another variable, my boolean, we set it to undefined. Var is nothing in itself. That's basically you just saying hey, that's gonna be my variable, okay? So again, let me have my good buddy repl.it open. So when we go over this stuff, I can show you guys everything that we're talking about directly. So for example, I can say var x is equal to 5, and then I can say console.log x. This is just saying, console.log x is just saying, hey, show me x on the right hand side of the screen. So as you can see, it showed you 5, and our variable x, we used that there, and we used it here. One of my favorite variables, for those of you guys who might be new here, is banana. So we're going to use banana. I hate looking at x. And most programming, you'll almost never be writing things like x and stuff. Other programmers are going to be like, what's wrong with this guy? He's writing all this cryptic stuff, or she, right? So let's focus on calling them something other than x and put more life into them. And var is just necessary to announce a variable. That's really what's happening here. Cool. Now do not edit the code under this line. What are they doing here? They're simply saying your name is whatever this was here. Your lucky number. Okay, what does this do? This plus sign, this plus business that they have going on. Let's check it out. All right. Let's check it out. we're gonna take their my number, we're gonna put it here, right? Console.log. Okay, so we're not gonna make it undefined. That's kind of nonsense. We're gonna make it like 4. And if I hit run here, you can see how it works. Essentially what we're doing is we're combining this number 4 with this little thing in the quotes. Okay, so in programming, what the thing that in quotes, we call it a string, and we're just basically making the string bigger. So if we just wrote it like this, that would give you an error, which is what you can see on the left side. It says, hey, there's some kind of error going on. You can't just do some quotation followed by some other thing, like a variable. If you want to combine the two, you use a plus sign to combine the two, okay? The things in quote, you're basically saying, give me exactly that thing, which is why on the right-hand side, you see lucky number, which is above me probably. Or sorry, the exact string lucky number with a colon. My number is the thing that comes from our variable up at the top at line 1 that we defined. So lucky number, exactly that, plus our variable that we created, which is 4 in this case, add it together and boom, we get lucky number is equal to 4. Another thing that I want to tell you guys about, you know, when you are following my program, is that I'll have all of these notes available for you. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to hit save on this. It has created a link already, and I will share this link with you guys. So it's going to be called Clever Programmer JavaScript Codecademy 1. All right, so you guys can then enjoy and use this as well to learn. All right, the notes are going to be in the description in the link below. Okay, so they're just saying blah 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 blah. I already broke all of this down for you, except for Boolean. So we're going to talk about that in 1 second. But as you can see here, string are any groupings of texts and things within the quotes. So here, when they say name, they literally want exactly name. They don't want the variable name that might be 4 or 5. They are trying to say, give me exactly the word name with a colon and space after it. So whenever you want something to be very exact, you use string, because that's the thing that you want. You don't want anything else. Number, okay, any number including numbers with decimals without quotes is a number. So for example, just for your practice, right? What is that versus what is that? Okay. On line 5, this is this thing here, okay, is a quote. This thing here is a number, okay? That's the difference there. So I'll put this here for you guys. String, and then this guy at the bottom, this is a number, okay, without the quotes. So what does that mean? Well, what's the benefit of this? If you try doing 4 minus 4, you're gonna get back something that probably doesn't make sense. Or I might be surprised in JavaScript. So yeah, in JavaScript I am surprised. It's able to subtract strings, but you can't do that in most other languages. You would have to do 4 minus 4 like that, okay? Usually you can't compare and subtract strings, but JavaScript is being really smart and it's going, hey, don't worry, I know what you mean. I'll do the right thing for you, okay? 23.42 is also a number. All right, now let's move on to Boolean. Boolean is something like true or false. All right, so if you say true or false, that's your Boolean. The reason why these are gonna be important is you can say, hey, if Johnny cleaned the dishes is true, then display, you can play Xbox 360 now, Johnny. Or if Johnny cleaned the dishes is equal to false, then maybe you can console.log or print out or whatever, like No, you can't play Xbox 360 or whatever. All right. So true and false is the heart of programming. This is the 0 and 1 or whatever way you hear of it. I like the true or false way more than just a 0 or 1 way. So that's really essentially what that is, okay? And those are your Boolean values. Anything that evaluates to true or false, okay? Is 4 less than 4? Is that true or false? What do you think? It's false, okay? 4 is not less than 4. So this is your Boolean kind of logic. Did, I don't know, did your worker or your coworker or your employee work more than 40 hours? If so, pay them overtime, okay? So again, you're gonna have maybe, you know, let's define a variable called overtime, and we can set that to 40 hours, and we can say, yeah, so let's see. We can have a variable Bob hours, and we can say that he worked 41 hours, and then we can go down here and check, hey, are Bob's working hours greater than the overtime hours? Let's see what it says. And you can see on the right hand side it says true. So if this is true, then maybe we pay Bob overtime, okay? All right, so the stuff that I've shown you guys is, you know, I'm kind of jumping the gun and showing you guys the stuff that's gonna happen next. So a lot of the stuff that they're gonna show next, I'm already showing you guys. So if I ever go on tangent, it's a helpful tangent. It's, well, sometimes it might not be, but most of the times it will be. All right, now let's see what they're talking about. Here are their instructions. So in the code editor, there are 3 variables. We will learn about variables in the next lesson. Again, I already covered this, right? So you guys kind of know what a variable is. Replace each variable's value with each corresponding type. Okay, so for my string, they want us to put something that's a string. So let's say Bob, like that, okay? For my number, let's actually put in a number. So we'll say 7. And for my Boolean, we'll put in a Boolean. And remember what Booleans are. They're something that are either true or false. In this case, we'll just put in false. Okay? On line 1, there's a variable named myString. So replace undefined with the string your name. So sure, we can, you know, put in my name or something. All right, and we don't really need the hints. Let's just run it. Let's see what happens. See what it says. It's running it. It's running it. It's running it for a little bit longer than expected. I'm worried if I'm stuck in the infamous Codecademy loop. Oh, looks like I'm not. So did I win? Did I pass everything? Okay, so as you can see, the first thing is done, the second thing is done, the third thing is done, fourth thing is done. So I think we're good. And on the right hand side, you can see that it says name is Rafe Kazi, lucky number 7, right? This is what line 8 is doing. It's combining the word lucky number with my number. And then on line 9, you can also see that it's combining good joke with this. So was the joke good? False. Was the lucky, what's the lucky number? 7. My name is Rafe Kazi. Cool. And we can't do much programming with our knowledge of types right now. So let's build something cool. Let's learn how to ask JavaScript to talk to us. Ooh, how will JavaScript talk to us? To do this, we need to do 2 things. A way to ask JavaScript to talk, and 2, something for JavaScript to say. Okay, we can ask JavaScript to print words to the console with this line of code. You guys are already pros at this, and I've already shown you this, but I'm just gonna put that right here, and at the bottom, you're gonna see that it says your message here. So that's essentially what that does. Let's go back. In human speak, this is saying, hey console, please print log this thing inside the parentheses. Bye, thanks. They're funny. I like their jokes. Cheeky. By writing this line, we have also solved the second thing we need, something for JavaScript to say. We can put a string, number, Boolean, or any other data type inside the parentheses of a console.log. Again, you saw that we were putting less than signs, we were putting true and false, we're putting pretty much anything between the console.log function that prints out your thing. Use console.log to log a string of your favorite pizza topping. Okay, so we can say console.log, and for our favorite pizza topping, I don't know, let's say jalapeno. I really like jalapenos, so we're gonna put that. We have to put the semicolon. That's something you guys will get used to. JavaScript is really smart. Even if you don't put the semicolon, it'll know what you're talking about, but there's certain cases where you're gonna run into really weird errors later on in your life that might cost you millions of dollars. So there are all kinds of horrific stories about not putting semicolons in JavaScript. So don't let JavaScript's smartness fool you into not putting semicolons. Go ahead and do that anyways. All right, let's run this bad boy and let's see what we get. We get back jalapeno. Fun fact, we can log multiple things at once by separating them with commas. So we can say jalapenos or jalapeno, and we can say, I don't know, pineapple. So by doing this, you can have it print out multiple things, as you can see here. All right, cool, yes, awesome. I don't know. All right, let's hit next. And the last thing we're gonna leave this off at is do some math, and we're gonna leave it off there. All right, so it's telling you that you can do some basic math, okay? You can do things like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Okay, you wanna be that cool kid in the class, that extremely cool kid, right? That does math not on his calculator, but on his laptop. Sure, that won't make you cool, but in the world of people who program, they'll definitely give you some bonus points. So essentially I can say 5 minus 3, and it'll show you on the right hand side. I can say 5 times 25, console.log, I don't know, 25 divided by 5. Let's see what we get. Divided by 5.2, we get some weird big number here, right? So all your calculator stuff, JavaScript can handle it for you. Let's see what it says. These all work, you might guess. Okay. So console.log, add 3.5 to your age. So let's do that. So I'm going to say 3.5 plus my age is 22. And that looks good. Inside another console.log, take the current year and subtract. So I'm going to say console.log, and I'm going to take the current year, so 2016 minus 1969. That should give me the difference between 2016 and 1969. Probably a lot of years. So it's been, that'll give you the number of years it's been since the moon has landed. Since we landed on the moon. So we landed on the moon in 1969. They want us to create another console.log that does 65 by 240. So okay, console.log divide 65 by 240. So just like that. Another console.log, then multiply the full answer from step 3 by 100. So I guess what I can do is I can do 65 divided by 40 times 100. Okay, and I can put this guy in parentheses just to say do this operation first and then multiply that result by 100. That's the percent of the sun that is made up of helium. Assuming we could stand on the sun, we'd all sound like chipmunks. Oh, that's pretty cool. So 27% of the sun is made up of helium. Fun facts. Okay guys, so you saw JavaScript lets us do some, for now we went through some really basic things, but you can see that we're going to be building up to some really great and epic things, right? We are even going to be able to build our own games with JavaScript. If Codecademy doesn't cover it and they want to make money off of you guys by having all these pro versions, then after the Codecademy course is done, I will make up some projects with JavaScript that you guys can follow along and do without having to pay a single cent. All right, guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If this is your first time, please subscribe to the channel. If it's not your first time and you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like the video. You'll see many more coming like this shortly. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next video.